Today in our 2014 F350 Super Duty, we'll be installing the Curt Custom Fifth Wheel Install Kit, part number C16424-204. To begin our install, we'll first go ahead and remove the spare tire and then remove both rear wheels. While it's not required to do this install, it can make it a lot easier and more accessible. We'll move into the pickup bed. We'll need to take one of the base rails, set it into the pickup bed, and measuring from the end of the bed to the rear edge of the rail, as per the instructions, to get our length and set the forward base rail into position. Once we have our length, we'll then check our width, making sure we're center of the bed. Once we're confident in our measurements, we'll go ahead and take a paint marker and mark the 4 outside attachment points. Then, using a small pilot bit, we'll go ahead and drill out the center of each attachment point. Note, for pickup beds where you'll be drilling into bare metal, it's good to center punch the hole first. However, for this application, we have a spray-in liner, so it won't be necessary. Now with our pilot hole drilled, we'll move underneath the vehicle. We're going to take our side bracket, set it into position, and verify that our pilot hole will go down through the forward attachment of our side bracket. Now that we know it'll line up with our side bracket, we'll move back into the pickup bed and drill out our holes to our final size, as per the instructions. Note, we'll be using a step bit process where we'll start with a small pilot bit and work our way up to the final size. Now with all 4 holes drilled out to the final size, we're ready to install the side bracket. The forward and rear attachment point will be a 1/2 inch carriage bolt, spacer block, and then a 1/2 inch flange nut. Taking our 1/2 inch carriage bolt and block, put them through the frame and the pre-drilled holes, setting them into position. Then we'll take our 3/4 inch bolt and flat washer, put it through the frame, through the side bracket, and secure it with the flange nut. The center attachment point will be a 3/4 inch bolt, flat washer, square flat washer, and then a 3/4 inch flange nut. Now with all the side bracket hardware in place on one side, we'll repeat the same process on the other side. Now with our side bracket in place, we'll go ahead and install the U-shaped spacer blocks. The U-shaped spacer block will go around each attachment point for our base rail to prevent smashing the bed corrugation when you tighten it down. Now we'll go ahead and set the base rail into position for the rear attachment points. Install the 2 inch long 1/2 inch carriage bolts down through the base rail, through our spacer block, through the side bracket, through a block, and then secure it with a flange nut. The forward 2 attachment points will go through the pickup bed, through the U-shaped spacer block. We'll have a second spacer block and then a flange nut. Now with our front rail installed and secured, finger tight, we're now ready to go ahead and set the rear base rail. Using our attachment as a template, we'll go ahead and set it in the rear base rail and then adjust it until the attachment sits down into the front base rail, making sure it's even from side to side, and then mark our attachment points. Once again, it'll be 4 outside attachment points. We'll then go ahead and repeat the same process of drilling out our attachment points. Once these holes are drilled out through the pickup bed, now that we know it'll line up with our side bracket, we'll move back into the pickup bed and drill out our holes to our final size, as per the instructions. Now we'll go ahead and set the base rail into position and install the 2-inch long 1/2-inch carriage bolts down through the base rail. Go ahead and install the U-shaped spacer blocks. Our carriage bolt will go down through the base rail, through the pickup bed, through the U-shaped spacer block, through our side bracket, and then secured with the second spacer block and flange nut. We'll repeat the same process on the other side. Now that we have them all in place finger tight, we're ready to go ahead and start tightening down all of our fasteners, starting with the base rail to side bracket first. And then our side bracket to frame. Once we have them all tightened down, we can then go ahead and torque the specifications as indicated in the instructions.
Next, we're going to drill out the 2 center attachment points on each rail. We'll go ahead and take the pilot bit and drill out each one first, and then open up to our final size of a 1/2 inch so we can install the 1/2 inch carriage bolt, dropping it down through the rail, then through the pickup bed. We'll move underneath the vehicle. We'll put our U-shaped spacer block in place so that we don't smash the bed corrugation. And then our flange nut. Once we have our hardware installed finger tight, we'll go ahead and run it down. We'll torque the specification as per the manufacturer's recommendations.
We're ready to hit the road. And that does it for the install of the Curt Custom Fifth Wheel Install Kit, part number C16424-204 on our 2014 Ford F350 Super Duty.